Hi, this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs, COOs, and business owners share strategies for better success. This is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. And so we're going to get right to our guest today. And in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, Keith. Thanks for having me. My name is David Begin. I'm the owner of Begin Insights. It does two different functions. One of them is we focus on helping people specifically in the car wash industry develop car washes and run car washes well and run them the way they want to run them, but also developing a coaching business around what I want to call innovative retirement. So helping people make the transition from either owning their business and selling their business to what's next, or how do you retire with mindfulness so that you can achieve all the things you want to achieve with the freedom you have, either by selling your business or by retiring from your job.
And both of those are probably really good and very important for people. And I love the last name, obviously, just the begin part where, helping them retire or helping them to the next stage of their life. It's all about beginning that process, right?
Yeah. It's actually worked out many times for me having that last name. So I agree.
Well, it's great having you on. So
thanks.
So question number 2, what's the best thing about being a business leader?
The one thing that I realized, I transitioned from a corporate job to owning my own businesses probably in my 40s. And just when I started owning my businesses, you realize that you can do whatever you want. You wake up every day and you can decide to do what you want to do. You can do what you think is important as opposed to what somebody else thinks is important. And so you get to create your own vision. You get to create your own world. You get to create your version of what you think things ought to be, and you get to create value. So the nice thing about being a business owner or a business leader is you get instantaneous feedback if you're creating value or not. So if people are willing to pay you for what you do, that's a tremendous feeling of I'm actually creating value in the world and people are willing to pay me for that value.
Very well said. I like that. All right. Question number 3. I hear from other business leaders that a lot of times their people strategy can be more of a challenge in running their business than their actual business strategy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. It is the most challenging, but I would also say it's probably the most rewarding part of it. And if you want to grow your business, you're going to have people. There's no way around it. And most people that are solopreneurs will start becoming successful. And then they realize, okay, I need to build a team around me. And so they've got to be able to make that transition from working by themselves for themselves to working with other people. And so a lot of business owners struggle with that transition of developing a team, but they have to develop a team if they're going to grow their business, and it's important. And at that point, you realize that you can't do everything the way you want to do it. Now you've got other people involved. You've got to listen to what they have to say. You need to be able to make them successful. I think if you invest in the people strategy part of your business, that's the best investment I think you can make. And so if you don't think you're a great leader, or if you don't think you're a great manager, you need to really study how to become a great leader, how to become a great manager, because those investments that you make and the investments you make in your people will pay off in spades.
Well, I kind of going off of one of the points that you made about the solopreneur, I think a lot of times solopreneurs are slow to get people involved because they're not sure what that's going to look like and how to manage them or how to incorporate, other people's visions and things. And that probably, slows down their progress in growing their business.
Absolutely. I think if you just want to have a job, then just do it by yourself. And you can, most people can create a decent living doing it by themselves. But if you really want to develop a business and grow a business, you're going to have people involved. And some of the mistakes I made early on is I didn't make investments in people, and I didn't realize the importance of what people could do for me. And later on, as a business owner, once I figured that out, it made such a difference in the way I saw my business and the way I saw my people, in the way my employees saw the business. I mean, it just became a great situation. But you got to be willing to make that investment. And if you're not comfortable being a leader or being a manager, there's so many resources out there that you can get to help you do those things.
Very well said. All right. So question number 4, what strategy would you like to share with other business leaders?
If you really want to grow your business, you've got to realize that you've got to change the way you do things. So going back to what we were talking about, Keith, if you ran your own business by yourself, you did everything in your business. And as you start aiding people, you've got to change your role in the business. And I think that's where a lot of business leaders get tripped up, is they don't change what they do. They don't change the way they do it as they start developing a team of people. And you got to transition from being the chief cook and bottle washer to being the owner. And I think it's a real challenge for people that do own businesses to become an owner, and they don't understand what it's like to become an owner. and they don't understand what the role is of an owner. So they actually play a role in the organization called owner. And it's obviously there's only one or two of those types of people in an organization, but you've got to play the role of owner. And that's a much different role than you played when you first started your business. And so, making sure that as you see your business grow, you've got to start learning, you've got to start transitioning, you've got to do things differently. If you're doing things the way you used to do them, you're not going to get the results you're looking for out of growing your business.
And what I hear there is growing a business is all about the owner growing as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. The owner has to grow before the business will grow. And I've seen people try to grow their businesses, or the businesses are growing without the owner. And it makes it extremely difficult on the organization when the owner doesn't come along with it and realize, hey, I've got to change the way I do things as well.
And that's tough because, we kind of get set in our ways, and owners do that as well. They, hey, I've arrived. I don't want to change. I don't want to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. And the problem that most owners have, Keith, is they think, well, I can do it. They said, I can do it better myself than letting my team do it. And the problem with that is they're right. They can do it better themselves, but that's not the idea of having a team, right? You got to let your team do it, and they're not going to do it maybe as well as you can do it. And they're not going to do it exactly the way you might do it, but you've got to let them do it the way they want to do it. And you're going to surprise yourself because your team members are going to show you ways of doing things that maybe you didn't think things could be done that way. So, having a team can be interesting, surprising, challenging, but at the end of the day, it's the most rewarding part of owning a business.
Some great insights. Thank you so much. So question number 5, what other successful business owners, CEOs like yourself, would you like to maybe acknowledge, do a shout out to, or you think would be good on the podcast?
Yeah, I've got a friend and a business partner I've had for like 15 or 20 years, Henry Lopez, who has a great podcast called The How of Business. He is very much a serial entrepreneur. He's owned many small businesses, but he's done a great job on his podcast on The How of Business. He interviews a lot of different people and has had a lot of success on that. So if you're interested in learning about small businesses, and he's got a lot of great guests, it's called The How of Business. So he focuses on the mechanics of small business ownership, or people that are transitioning from a corporate job to wanting to run their own business. He sort of helps and guides them in that process as well.
That's really cool. All right. So question number 6, just kind of a final fun question. Tell me about one of your favorite past bosses.
Yeah, I was in the sales industry for a long time in the corporate world, and I had a great sales manager, Joe Terry. He's no longer with us, but he was a guy that would really take time to teach you. And then one thing I appreciate about him is he would teach you about sales, and he would tell you he would not only manage you, but he would coach you and teach you about what you needed to learn. And I still go back to a lot of the lessons that he taught me. I think about him often, and I think about what would Joe Terry say in this situation, or what would Joe Terry do in this situation. And I really appreciate his willingness to want to invest in his team. And I think that's what made him a great leader and a great boss, was he was willing to invest. He realized he was kind of in the sunset part of his sales career, and he wanted to invest in new people to make them what they could be.
Well, that just reminded me, I hear a lot of times from business owners that, hey, I pay my employees a good salary. Why can't they just do what they are supposed to do or whatever?
Yeah.
And, that coaching part that you mentioned is incredibly valuable. You've got to be coaching your people, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a manager, but coaching them and helping develop them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you gotta help them think about, so you might have a way that you want to do something in a business, but you want to coach them. Here's my vision. What's your vision? Listen to them, see if they've got a better way of doing things, letting them run with ideas or projects, knowing that they're going to make mistakes, they're going to fail. That's how they're going to learn. That's how they're going to get better. If people, when they come work for you, they're going to work for you for a period of time, whether it's 20 years or a year, right? And when they leave your business, what you want to ask yourself is, did they learn anything? Are they better because they came work for me, or are they worse off? You want them always to be better off. You want them to have developed some skills and some thinking ability, so that they can, wherever they go, whatever they do, they're taking that and applying it to their next job.
I think that's a great standard that every business owner should be asking themselves. That would be a great question for every business owner. Well, it has been great having you on. I really enjoyed it. Before we leave, can you tell people how they can connect with you?
Yeah, if you want to connect with me, you can go to begininsights.com, and you can schedule a quick Zoom call with me if you've got questions or issues, or if we can help you out, we'd love to do it.
Great. Well, it's been great having you on. And this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast. And for more insights and to follow us, you can follow us at Weaver Business Coaching, find us on LinkedIn, and of course, listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. And we wish you all the best success.